right. Hey, tonight on the Cryptid Quest Podcast, we got Jason Kenzie, and he's going to be amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, he's got some great stories. I already heard him today at the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference, and he's been at a few other conferences before this, but tonight we got him exclusive, and here he is, Jason Kenzie.
Hello.
What's happening, Jason?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So we're at my buddy Will's shop, and I love the background. My producer Dirty's over there doing all the dirty work, and
Just in time for Halloween.
hell yeah, we got the meat hook.
Got the meat hook.
We got the meat hook. We got the cannon.
Yeah, and wait a second, is that blood?
Might be. Well, I ain't gonna tell all Will's secrets. So Jason, what is like your best cryptid story? I gotta know.
Okay, so let's see. There's been quite a few really interesting. So, okay, let me think. There's been quite a few. Let me think. Okay,
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
We can have more than one.
More than one?
Yeah,
okay.
we can have more than one.
Maybe 20 of them. No.
All right, let's go.
So there was, I want to say, I'm trying to think of one that I haven't really talked about yet. And there've been so many. Okay, so I was in Ohio researching the Ohio grassman.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they call it the Ohio grassman because it was spotted in
Grass.
like kind of a grassy
Yeah.
field. It's a good thing it wasn't seen in a cornfield.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as scary. I saw a corn man.
Corn Man.
The Ohio
Wait,
corn man.
is that the guy from the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. And so we were out there, and we were researching in this area where there's been quite a lot of sightings of this grassman.
Grassman.
And so as we were walking in there, I spotted what I thought was eye shine looking, and we could hear something walking in the forest. So I walked into the shadows, into the darkness, and I was with the she-squatchers. So the she-squatchers is on this side of me, and as I'm walking, I'm filming, and I could see the eye shine. And as I'm moving, all of a sudden there was a bang, and something, either something threw something, because it was like a branch or a rock. I didn't see what it was, but it hit the ground beside me. And what did I do? I turned, and just as I turned, it ran off.
Exactly.
And it was bang, bang, bang. It was like crash right through. So it distracted me. It did the best. It actually did what it was supposed to do. I turned, and as soon as I turned, it ran. This ran off.
Redirected your trip,
and that shocked me.
Yeah.
And so then later on, Chad Dademan, he actually saw. We were driving this old rickety road by this bridge there was a big storm, and it broke, and you can only go so far. And we had to drive all the way down this, it's kind of like a logging road, and we got out and we looked around. We didn't really find much, but as we turned around and went back, he spotted something, a big eye shine looking at him. So he's like, "Jay, stop." So I slammed the brakes on, jumped out of the car, and we ran into the forest. And obviously what was there wasn't there anymore. But we found the craziest tree structures, things kind of wrapped around. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, this can't be tree fall. Then all of a sudden I turned to Chad as we're walking through the forest. I said, okay, let's just sit down. We'll turn off the lights. Okay, my battery died, so I had no choice. I had no light.
Shh, you ain't gotta tell people that.
Yeah, exactly. And so we sat down. All of a sudden, I turned and I saw a shadow, and I'm looking. My eyes are like focusing into the darkness. I said, is that a tree? I can't tell if it's a tree. I'm pretty sure it moved, and I'm looking in the shadow, but then I brushed it off because I'm thinking it was just a tree, or that I was looking at, or the big bushes. 2 months later, when I'm at home editing. As I'm talking on camera, there was eye shine right there. So it was standing right there in front of us. And it was probably 40 feet away. And when I saw it on the computer, because when I edit my documentaries, I turn off all the lights and then I do the editing. And if I'm listening to audio, I actually will crank it right up as loud as possible. My neighbors hate me. And then I go and I do some stuff. Because, when you're looking through audio, it takes a long time, especially if it's been, 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I'll just crank it up and then I'll go and I'll do make dinner or I'll do something and just listen. And so when I'm editing, I'm looking through the footage and all of a sudden I see the eye shine right where I saw what I thought was a creature. So I called Chad up and I said, Chad, you were right. I'm pretty sure that you saw a Sasquatch, because every time, a lot of times people think they see something. Yeah. And then it turns out you didn't. Yeah. But when I can verify it, when I actually see it on film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it comes to where, you hear sound, you have movement, you see something. Yeah. And then if you have a verification, it all comes together. And that's one of the cool things about, and I know nobody's ever proven Sasquatch, but I'm a believer. So
I am a 50% believer now.
I am a 100% believer.
Yeah.
So I got you beat by 50%.
The only reason the only reason I'm 50% is because I need to see a daytime sighting.
Daytime sighting.
I've seen a lot of eye shine. I've walked up on creatures that are just looking at me from behind trees.
I like that though. I like somebody that's not going to just buy into it just because everybody else is saying so. I dig that and I respect you for that.
Exactly.
So I am not going to step on your toes for that comment, because if you've not seen one for yourself, if you've not had a definitive, my definitive was I heard a gorilla, and in the woods of Missouri, and unless something escaped from the zoo or some crazy thing happened, but I've not seen one with my own eyes, but I know people that have that I trust 1,000%.
So what were you doing exactly when you heard the grunt?
Well, it's kind of a crazy story. I've already told the story on my show, but I'll tell you.
Give me the short version.
Very short version. All right, so
I was walking, heard the grunt.
I was in a deer blind. I was in a deer blind, kind of like the field where we're at right now, in the very corner of it, went like an L, and I had a window of opportunity like this to shoot something in the field, and I did a night hunt, and then I was going to stay in my blind overnight and wait till the morning and then do a morning hunt. I was staying at my sister's property, and 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a freaking silverback gorilla behind me. It was like, rrr, rrr, rrr. And I'm like, the hell is this? Then it moved around and it started doing, woo.
Oh, really?
And then it came back around, and not all the way behind me, but off to the side a little bit, and then it started doing what they say, the samurai chatter. And that's when I started praying to God. It was going, yeah, and I was like.
And you didn't think of just pulling out your phone to record it? Or
people have asked me that. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah. So
I was concentrating on not breathing. So I'm just telling you, I'm sitting in there, I'm listening to this, and I'm like, everybody's like, why didn't you pull out your phone? I'm like,
well, I was too busy pooping because I was scared.
I was shitting and pissing my pants. I'm like, I didn't want it to hear me, no matter what I did.
So I'll tell you my story.
Yeah.
About the UP of Michigan, where I was on an ATV and I spotted a giant tree X.
Yeah.
So there was these, probably about 25 feet tall. There was two of them. One tree looked like it was pushed over. The other one was ripped out of the ground and moved from wherever it was, and it was leaned against the other one. Then there was another big tree that was like, I don't know if it was ripped out of the ground or it was just taken, a fallen tree. They placed it on top, and I turned to everyone and said, "Hey, I'm gonna spend the night here in a hammock tent." And so the researchers I were with said, "Jay, this is a territorial marker. It means danger. Don't cross." I'm like, no worries. I should be okay. So that night, I went in there. I tucked myself in, and I zipped it. For anyone that doesn't know what a hammock tent is, it's basically a hammock that has a mosquito fly over top of it. And you can also put
I've seen it in your videos.
Yeah. So I'm lying there, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, that's exactly how you sleep. And all of a sudden it was like, crack! And I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and I hear it walking through the forest. And it's every time it took a step, I could feel the vibration off the rope. And I'm thinking, oh my God, is it a bear? Or maybe a wild pig? And as it stopped about maybe, I want to say 10 feet, but I didn't have time to get out there with a ruler.
Gauge it. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Monster. I just hold up. Can you hold this for a second?
Kind of like me saying.
That's 3 feet. Okay, back up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I'm lying there, and it stopped, and it grunted in my ear. It's like, just like a gorilla. And I was like, oh. And then I started shaking uncontrollably and like vibrating. And I'm trying to stop myself from shaking because in my head, I'm thinking, maybe it doesn't know I'm in here. And I'm holding my breath, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, if it really is. Remember, at the time, I was a 20% believer at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh God, if it really is in Bigfoot, I'm already, wrapped up like a burrito. So I did what any normal person would do. I started washing myself with tobacco sauce, to prepare myself to get eaten. Because it just hit me.
Might as well make yourself tasty, right?
Exactly. And then I was thinking I could just put it on the shoulder and just walk into the forest with me. So then all of a sudden it turned and it started walking away. And it was like crunch, crunch, crunch. That's it, exactly that. It just, all of a sudden it stopped, and then I yelled out. I'm like, David, it was another researcher that was supposed to be with me, and he yells back, he goes, yeah, Jason, what is it? I'm over here. And so I unzipped, and I got out, and I looked around, and I ran around the tree, and it was David Dominique. He was a special agent for the government. Can't really say the exact, what he was, but starts with an F. But anyway, and he was bundled up, and with a hat bundled up next to a tree, and I'm like, David, was that you that was, walking around? I said, that's rude, grunting in my ear, you pervert. And he's like, no, it wasn't me. I was sleeping. I only yelled out I woke up when you called my name. I'm like, you're kidding me. So for the next half an hour, 45 minutes, we looked around for footprints. And because the ground was all mushy, we couldn't see. I mean, I could see little imprints, but it wasn't anything that I would be excited about.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much my first. And so at the exact same time as that was happening, on an audio recorder that was about 45 yards away, caught talking. Yeah. And so I took that footage, and 2 years later, it's only a few years ago, I actually took this footage to the Red Lake Indian Band reservation.
Yeah.
Because they speak Habwai, some kind of a language.
Kobwai?
Yeah, it's some kind. I
don't know how to say that either.
And the lady, her name is Vicky, she actually doesn't just speak it, she teaches it to the young.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, I caught this weird talking. Would you listen to this and tell me what you think they're saying? And I didn't tell her what I was doing at that time. And I had her listen to it. And when she heard it, she's like, it means, it's like warning. Like it's pissed off you're there.
Oh my God.
And they want you to leave. And I'm like, really? Well, this is what I was doing. She's like, yeah, it was annoyed that you were there.
Oh, wow.
So today,
yeah,
as we're talking,
yeah,
there was 2 ladies that were also First Nations.
At the conference?
Yes, and they spoke that language. And so when I was up there talking, and I came back down, they came up and said, we'd like to listen to that and see. So I went and had her listen to it. And she said she could only hear the first couple words.
Yeah. And
it said it was upset with me. I know. I was like, wow, for real? Wow. And the thing is, I don't think I even told that story. I actually told them that I've heard talking. And so when I had them listen to it, then I told them what I was doing. But that was exciting to kind of get that. And so here's the funny thing, when you hear it,
yeah,
when they were talking in their language together,
yeah,
because I think there were mother and daughter.
Uh-huh.
I think it was mother-daughter or sisters. They were talking in their Ojibwe. I can't remember what the
Ojibwe?
Yeah, it's something
Ojibwe?
like that.
Yeah. I know. I can't get it
and
right.
And it sounded, the dialect sounded just like in the recording.
Oh my god.
It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So that was another, that was just exciting. Now, I haven't always been into Bigfoot.
I know you haven't, because I've been watching so many of your documentaries, and man, oh man, and not to get off the Bigfoot subject, but, some of the animals you've been around have been freaking amazing. Yeah. I mean, freaking amazing. You know what? Let's go off it for a minute. Yeah. Tell us what you got.
So I started as an animal photojournalist. For like 20 years, I would just travel the world, North America, Canada, just interviewing and photographing people that live with amazing animals as pets.
Yeah.
So my motto is, there's no cages, right? So I would have to pet the animals, so to speak. So I would meet people that had like tigers,
yeah,
grizzly bears,
okay,
zebras, kangaroos, monkeys, like alligators as pets.
If you say a spider, I'm out.
Oh my gosh. You should see some of the videos. I was holding the largest birding spider in the world.
No!
Yeah.
Okay.
I even had it walk.
How big was it?
I had it walk over
man.
my face.
No.
And
don't tell me that.
I'll tell you the scariest spider. Actually, no. No. Okay, so there's one, I'm sleeping, and I'm like, la la la. Because that's how I start. And I'm like, nah, nah, nah. And I'm like, okay, when you're half asleep, and you're like, and I'm like, I could feel it. I could feel it. I'm in Florida.
Hello.
I'm in Florida, and I'm sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, da, 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 da.
No.
I'm half asleep, and I'm feeling this, and I'm like, I open my eyes, and all I see is this hairy leg. It was like maybe someone's tarantula escaped, but it was on my face. And I did what any normal person would do. And as I pulled away, there was half the spider on my hand and half the spider on my face.
Okay.
I'll never forget that. And I have arachnophobia.
I do too.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Any kind of spider, Yeah.
All right, interview's over.
yeah, it's done. Well, I won't tell you about the one on your shoulder right now. So
Don't even. Don't even.
So I would go and I would meet these people, and there was a lady that had 5 wolves as pets.
That's so cool, though.
She had like a lot of acreage.
And you said they were full-blooded wolves.
Oh, full-blooded. They
Yeah.
were no. There was no. There was no dog in them. They were
So
there
you
was
were around?
130 or 140 pound Arctic wolf.
Holy
Pure
cow.
white. It was actually they're gray wolves.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 species of wolves.
Yeah.
And so this was basically an Arctic, a gray wolf, but it was pure white in Arctic. And it was very friendly. It really liked to lick me a lot, like lick my face,
Dinner.
like all the time. Like every time I would try and pet it. Or I'm trying to interview.
Maybe it was trying to baste you?
Well, I tell you something. As I was doing the interview, it was licking me so much, I'd be pushing it away. I swear to God, after I was done the interview, I was part werewolf. For sure. For sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that was fun. It was the first time I ever climbed down into a wolf den.
You climbed down into the wolf
Yeah, so
den?
this lady said, "Hey, do you want to see a wolf den?" And I'm like, "Really?"
How deep was it?
About 30 feet.
Seriously?
I'm serious. So
You went down 30 feet?
So I went down probably about 10 feet.
Yeah?
And it opened up into this big cavern. I could almost stand up. Then there was another offshoot. So I went down there into another offshoot. And I'm filming all this. And I could only film it with my phone.
Yeah.
Because, it was so much, it was all sandy. And there was no pee, no poop. That's because it was all over me. I was wiping it out as I was crawling.
Yeah,
I crawled down
cleaning
head
it up
first,
for him.
and as I'm crawling
That's
down,
why she invited you down.
yeah, exactly. I smelled like wolf afterwards. As I crawled down, I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope this opens up because, I would be jammed in there. And then I went down to another. I went about 30 feet. I would not. I mean, like I said, I didn't have a measuring tape, but I know that. Down.
No, I got you.
Open it up. I'm looking around. Then I came back out, and she said, "I think that one of the wolves was down there, the skittish one. I think, and I'm glad you didn't bump into her because she was kind of skittish, and she probably would have attacked me."
Oh, well, that's nice to know after you already went in.
I mean, this would look terrible ripped off.
How do you even do this crap?
I'd be like, "My name is Jason Kenzie.
All right,
Here's my face.
Yeah.
Stick it on."
Put it on a milk carton if I end up missing because I'm going in a wolf hole.
Yeah.
The next week, I'm going in a Bigfoot den.
Yeah, exactly. The wolves were really friendly. I petted each one of them. It was
Man, oh man.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Man,
not
oh
fun.
man. That's
I
that's
rode an
amazing.
ostrich. That was fun.
Okay, so I remember that at the conference
Yeah.
day you brought up the ostrich. I got a little ostrich story.
Oh yeah.
Not as crazy as yours.
Go ahead.
All right. So when I was a teenager, I pulled in to a bank one day,
Yeah.
and actually no, I was at the gas station. I seen these guys running around the park across the street.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are they doing? They're chasing an ostrich, and I'm like 18 and full of piss and vinegar, and I'm like, I helped chase the ostrich. What are you guys trying to do? Yeah. So they pulled over at the gas station to get gas, and the ostrich got out, and it just started running around.
I'm surprised they can go up to I think 45 miles an hour.
Well, it just kept running around the park, and we kept trying to surround it, and then we wrangled it. So I'm an ostrich wrangler too.
Yeah.
You're an
Oh,
ostrich
there we
rider.
go.
I didn't ride one, but
Amen for
I'm
that.
telling you. So we ended up, there was a trash dumpster that they came up with an idea.
Yeah.
They pulled the dumpsters out,
Yeah.
and it was just like a fenced in place. And we all wrangled it, and we got it in there, and we shut the doors. We pulled the trailer up, and they got it loaded up.
Nice.
So I thought about that today when you were talking about riding. So I want to hear about you riding the ostrich, though.
Yeah.
Tell us again.
Yeah. So, did you know that there is 24 chicken eggs in one ostrich egg?
Is it really?
Yeah.
I bought an ostrich egg once when I was in California, but it was hollowed out.
Yeah.
I didn't like actually eat it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
really?
no, this one.
24?
So I'm in the back of the truck, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I really want to get my own ostrich egg. But you have to be careful because they're quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
what they do is they
They'll
run at you and they'll jump up with their hind legs, and they have a dew claw that is razor, and it will actually hit you in the belly and slice you right open.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm in the back of the truck, and this is a big ostrich farm, and suddenly the owner's like, Jay, look, there's an egg. Go get it. So I'm like, okay, and I jump out the back of the truck and I'm running, and then the ostrich is coming, and I run back to the truck, and then it goes around that way, and I run back over and I grab the egg, and they're like, it's coming, it's coming. So I'm running with this egg, and I'm like, please don't drop it, please don't drop it. And then as I'm running to the truck, I'm like, Jay, there's another egg over there. And I'm like, okay. Go running over, and the ostrich is chasing me.
I got 2 dozen.
I'm going back, yeah, no, it's 24.
Oh, what?
So
4
yeah,
dozen.
I have 4 So I'm like running, I grab the other ostrich egg, and I'm running with these ostrich eggs, and I'm trying, and the guy's driving, he's thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, stop, this ostrich, and I'm running in circles, because the ostriches can't run too fast in circles. And so I jump into the back. I'm trying not to break these. I'm trying not to break the eggs, right? Because I'm like, I'm going to have some breakfast.
Oh, heck.
This is going to be great.
Oh, feed the whole community.
My cholesterol is going to go through the roof after I eat the whole thing. And finally, I jump in the back of the truck.
Oh, my God.
And so then, after I was doing the photo shoot, I'm taking the photos of all the owner, and the ostriches are just, that's all they're doing. That the ostriches.
They're pissed off at you.
No, they're kissing me because they love me so much.
Aww.
But this is exactly what they were doing.
Aww.
It was annoying trying to get a shot. I'm like, stop it! Stop it! And I'm trying to get the photos, and I turned to him. I said, hey, can I jump on his back? I've always wanted to ride an ostrich. And he's like, really? I said, yeah. Yeah, well, sure, if you could get on there. It took me 4 tries. I mean, I kept jumping on the back and going right over onto the ground. Like, I'd be like, yeah! And so I would get back on. So finally, I got on him. And after, when you do it once to an ostrich, they're on. Like, they know what you're going to do. So you have to pick another ostrich.
Oh,
right?
okay. So it's like, I know what you're going to do, fool.
So finally, I was like, okay. Here, little one, we coached it in with some food. I'm like, okay, 1, 2. And I jumped onto his back, and it took off like a bullet.
Shit.
And I know they can go, faster than 44 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and I didn't want it to kind of get up to that speed. So it must have got up to maybe 10 or 15 miles. And then I kind of fell off and jumped off before it got up to the speed. But I was holding on to it. And, and it was pretty
I got to
amazing.
give you props on that, though.
Thanks.
That's pretty freaking
and I
amazing.
ate 1 ostrich egg all to myself.
They'd let you have the ostrich egg?
Oh my God,
Did you
yeah.
eat it? Did you eat the
I
whole
did.
thing?
Oh, it was so good.
All right.
It was so
Did
good.
it taste a lot like chicken?
What the?
Dang.
Well, I mean, no, not really. I don't. No, it tastes. It's really rich, so it has lots of vitamin, right? So yeah, So I thought to myself,
right, so tomorrow I'm going out and getting an ostrich egg. I don't know where I'm going to find one here in Missouri, but
well, I was just preparing myself for when I have to jump on the back of a Bigfoot. Right?
I know, right? Yeah, I don't know that Bigfoot would be as accommodating as an ostrich, but we can hope. We can hope.
Maybe.
So
maybe, except the poop would be much larger with a Bigfoot.
A lot larger.
Because as soon as I jumped on the back of the ostrich, it just pooped.
Yeah, well, I don't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was me that pooped. Actually.
I don't know that I want to hear about the size of ostrich poop, but all right. So, out of all the cryptids that are out there in this world, what one, besides Bigfoot, do you think is most plausible?
That's a good one. Which one do I think would be more plausible? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't mean to put you on point.
Maybe one of the sea creatures out there, or the lake monsters. Maybe. It's a.
Do you know we have a lake monster around here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Will. He's got a buddy. He's seen what they call the White River Monster.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and it's like a smaller version of like Nessie.
Is it brown?
I don't know. I've not had the interview yet.
So the white Nessie monster isn't brown?
The White River monster.
The river monster.
White River. It's seen in the White River.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like the white
No,
river.
White River.
Oh, I see.
White River monster.
Is the water white?
No, it's just called the White River.
Why do they call it White River? Like,
I think because Jeremiah White founded. I don't know.
yeah, we should make something up.
Yeah, I just made something up.
We should just make up a new,
sure, why not?
a new cryptid. Why not? Might as well.
Okay.
Hey, have you seen the Meow Meow monster?
The Meow Meow monster.
Oh my gosh,
I
this
call
Meow
it
Meow
Kitty.
monster. It's like a mix between a raccoon, a tiger, a bat, and a fox, and it has fleas.
Oh,
it's the
kind
Meow
of like the
Meow monster.
Bat Squatch. Have you heard about the Bat?
Yeah, but come on, people.
I know.
I haven't really met anyone who's seen the. Was it the bat?
Bat Squatch.
Bat Squatch?
I've heard about it. Bat Squatch. I've heard about it. I don't know.
I could just see it now. I saw the bat squatch. It was.
It looked like
That's all I
a big,
saw.
then it sprouted wings. But what are you gonna do? I don't know. I don't know. So, okay, gotta ask, Dogman, what are your thoughts? You know I'm gonna this is a cryptid show.
So I just did a documentary on Dogman, and I did hear a few stories and interview a few people who allegedly saw this Dogman creature.
We heard one today at the conference. The guy talked about it.
Well, it's supposed to look like a wolf, right? So it's supposed to have a head of a wolf. It's a good thing it didn't have a head of a chihuahua.
Yeah, I know, yeah, like you said. Yeah. But I don't know. I wonder if it might be an offshoot of a Bigfoot.
I believe that some of the cases may have been mistaken as a Sasquatch.
I believe that.
For real.
I believe that.
I did interview a person who was a child, and he was coming home from school, and he said that it crossed. Back then, the road he was on was gravel, and there's a corn on either side, and it came walking across, and it was on all fours, and then he stopped and kind of held his breath, and then it stood up on two legs and looked at him, growled, and then it just turned and went into the forest. And he was like 10, this guy.
Okay, so, all right, so an interview I had, which was another eyewitness encounter, the guy, loved him to death, and I believe everything he says, and he's seen Bigfoot up front. And he said one day, when he was young, he's like, I seen what looked like a German Shepherd that was 7 foot tall, standing on its hind legs, and I'm like, how do you explain that though? I don't know. I don't know. I've not seen it.
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
So I was up by Irons, Michigan, northern Michigan, and we were taken to this guy's property.
Yeah.
Because he was hearing the howls and screams, and he was finding weird tree structures on his property. And he had something like 40 acres, and the national forest backs up onto his place. So he has 40 acres, then there's the national forest, which is 600,000 acres of. And he took us, and we hiked through the forest, and at one point we saw an eye shine. Something had just looked at us and then just disappeared, like it just went behind a tree. And we were shining it, and then at one point I thought I saw some eye shine, and when my light hit it, it ducked behind the tree. And so I left everyone on the trail and walked up this kind of through the forest, almost like a little path, but it wasn't. It was just maybe an animal trail. Mm-hmm. I walked up. I was only 20 feet from everyone, and I came around, and this large, it was almost gray, and it was hunched over, and it ran. I just saw the blur of it, and I almost jumped. I said, I see it, oh my gosh, I saw something. And lucky for me, it crashed through the forest. So everyone behind me heard it as it ran through the forest. And I remember seeing it go, like it didn't go 0 to 60. It was already at 60. And going. And it was so fast. And it was hunched over. And like kind of low as it, so it was, and then as we were walking, we came across a massive nest. And the nest was probably about 3 feet high. And it looked like a giant bird nest. Huge. 7 feet in diameter. And inside of it, it was kind of soft. I mean, there were still sticks. But when I looked at the sticks, some of them looked like they were manipulated to kind of bend. And I picked up one and it was twisted. And I went to pull it apart because I was interested to see how strong it was. And as I was pulling it to try and unweave it, it broke. Like it broke. So whatever made it was able to bend it under and over. It was crazy.
Oh, that is crazy.
So I'm like filming the whole thing, and I was so excited because I've always wanted to come across a nest. Because I see the other structures. And so I should back up a second. As we're walking towards the nest, before we saw it, we heard, woo, oh, oh, but it was deeper. And we all stopped. We're like, what the hell? Then we walked about another 15 feet. Then we saw the nest. Then we heard it again, woo, as if it was pissed. Something was pissed off that we were so close.
Upset.
So right beside us was this cliff. And it was steep. It was maybe 30 feet down. And it was very steep. And as we shone the flashlight, we saw eye shine from behind the tree. And as the light hit it, it went behind the tree. And it was a pretty big tree. It was like that. So Gwendolyn Guthrie and myself, we went down. And you have to kind of slide. Like, you can't just walk down. We had to be very careful. There was a big, massive tree that had fallen. So we were like sliding, running, sliding, and then we hit the tree to stop ourselves. And it was still slanted. So here we are awkwardly sitting on this tree, on this slant, and we're looking at the tree that we saw the eye shine, but it ran off. It was like through the forest. But yeah, so that was very interesting, and that just happened a week and a half ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and the nest showed up only 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very recent.
And where?
So the guy approached me and
part of
wanted
the country?
me to go investigate. It was
You ain't got to
Michigan.
give an exact location.
Northern Michigan, up by Irons. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty exciting. It took lots of photos, lots of.
So I've got to ask. I don't care if it's cryptid. I don't care if it's animal. What's been the scariest situation where you're like, I'm gonna die?
So there was about 5 or 6 of us, and we're in the forest, and I call it the forest of death because all the trees looked like they were dead. Thousands of trees, and it looked like something out of like a fairy tale where the princess goes into the dark, scary,
like
dead story. No light. All the trees are bare, but they have the weird, it just looked dead. It was amazing. And we were told that the Sasquatch people live in that area, in that part of the forest. And so as we got out of the car and we walked through the tall grass, as we walked, so the grass went all the way up to when it starts of the trees, and just as we entered, it was like crash, crash, crash. I was looking this way, my camera was this way, and it just crashed through the forest, and I turned, and I only saw the back, like a dark shape, and it was upright, and the leaves went like that, I just saw the back end of it, so I darted after it, because I wanted to get close. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't someone hoaxing, and no matter how fast that I was running and jumping logs and trying to get through, I had my camera rolling as I'm doing this. It was running, and it wasn't tiptoeing through the trees, the branches. It was basically bulldozing right through all the limbs. So you could hear the crash, crash, and it was stepping on these dead logs and just crash, crunch, crunch. And it just kept on going into the darkness, and I could not catch up to it. Then I came back to everyone. I think I only ran like maybe, I don't know, 50 feet, 100 feet. Like, before I, check it out.
Realized you weren't going to catch it?
I wasn't. Right? And I went back to everyone. Then we started seeing peekers, eye shine, these creatures peeking. And we were all looking at these. And we had the thermals. We had like looking through. And we could see them all like looking. So we ran towards them. Same thing. They turn and they would run, crashing. Meanwhile, the lady that was with me, Robin Haynes McRae, was saying, she was mind speaking with these creatures. She was saying, Jason, I'm talking to the parents, and you're scaring the young. There's these young Sasquatches, and you're scaring they want you to stop. And me being like, at that point I was
skeptical.
Probably about a 25 or 30%.
Yeah, you're still skeptical, which I understand.
So I'm like, okay, I just wanted to get close.
Yeah.
I remember there's like 5 or 6 of us. So I'm filming everything, and on audio you can hear them crashing. At one point we could see some more eye shine. Then this went on for like 2 hours. We were basically cat and mouse. Suddenly I said, okay, everyone, shh. Let's turn off all the lights and we'll just sit down. And we're just going to listen. So we did that, and we're listening. And my ADH kicked in, and I couldn't sit down anymore. So I stood up and I said, okay, I'm just going to look around. And I thought for sure that I saw some eye shine. And then at the same time, Robin's like, hey, I saw eye shine over there. And I'm like, yeah, I think I saw some too. So I walked about 25 feet around from them, maybe 30 feet, and I came around some bushes. As I came around some bushes, I'm like, whoa, right there was some eye shine. And I want to say 7 feet tall. Like I said, I didn't have a measuring tape.
Yeah.
Sir, before you eat me, monster,
Yeah.
can you just hold this? I just want to see how tall you are.
What branch? Here, mark the branch where you're
exactly. Cause you just put it to your head.
Yeah.
Okay, you're eating you're eating it. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That was my best looking.
Can I have my hand back out of your mouth?
Yeah, my best measuring tape. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have to wait till you poop it out. So and then I'm standing there. I had the video recorder, the video camera on this one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't recording. So I'm sitting there, and I didn't want to take my eyes off it. So I'm looking at it, and all I'm thinking is, like everyone has said, a lot of people I've interviewed who have seen the Bigfoot in front of them, they always say that as soon as they look away and they look back, it's gone.
Yeah.
So I was just like a deer in headlights looking at it, but meanwhile my finger, it's trying to get I have a little red button here, and I'm like, what the fuck? And at the same time I start shaking, and I pushed record. And with that half a delay, it dropped down behind some bushes, and I finally was standing there, and it was 20 feet away. Even though on video, the camera was on full, like almost wide angle.
Panoramic.
It was almost on wide angle because there was no zoom.
Yeah.
I did not want to look down and find the zoom. Not even for a second. So I'm standing there looking at this creature that is with the eye shine going like this.
Holy
very monkey-like.
Yeah.
Just staring at me. And I start shaking because all I'm thinking is Robin, only like 15 minutes ago, saying that I'm chasing after a young one and I'm pissing off the parents.
Exactly.
So I'm standing there waiting for the parents to come up behind me and go boop and just jam my head down and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Done.
And then he picks me up and uses me as a toothpick.
A burrito. Well, you already had the hot sauce on.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm already smothered, right? Smelling like Sasquatch at that moment. But I'm standing there shaking, and then I called to Ernie, on the video you hear the terror in my, because like I said, I'm thinking that if Robin is right, and what is in front of me is an actual young Bigfoot, the parents are going to kill me. I'm waiting for it to happen. And as Ernie comes over, it runs off, and we hear it on video as it's crashing.
Oh, wow.
And so as I come around, and I'm looking, after it ran off, and I collected my internals and stuffed it back up in there because I was so freaking scared.
Yeah.
I kind of shook it out of my body.
Yeah.
I went around, and you could see there was a bit of a hill right there. So whatever I was looking, 7 feet tall, it could have been even taller.
Well, and I know and you got to make light of it. You got to make light of it, but it's a scary situation being something like that. I've been in a situation like that. You've been in a situation like that, and I know after the fact you can laugh about it.
Yeah.
But when you're right there, you ain't laughing.
No, it's
I
am kind of. I start joking in my documentaries.
You kind of have to.
But I start joking because I'm so scared at times that I automatically start joking because it calms me down.
Yeah,
right?
that's how I am.
So, for all you people out there that do watch my documentaries, when you see me kind of joking, it's only because I'm nervous or I'm scared. And it's just a automatic.
You're a real person.
Yeah.
You're not fake. You're not. And I'm sorry. I mean,
no.
I want to say you're not Hollywood, but
well,
you're not an actor. You're giving your real feelings.
So, my documentaries are not perfect, but I film them.
Pretty cool though.
But
I
film them in a way.
Yeah.
Because I want people to feel as if they're with me.
Yeah.
Like on the adventure.
Exactly.
Right? They're like with me. They can follow through it. I mean, it's called Searching for Sasquatch. So it's basically the adventure of going with me into the dark forest to search for these creatures. I mean, I don't like.
And they can do
I'll take a path, but I really like just put on the GPS so we know how to get back, and then we just turn and go into the forest. And either I'll go in by helicopter. I do have a team of. I have Chad Datema, and I have Sherry Garcia, David Dominique, Gwyneth Paltrow. God, I wish. No.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn. So they all come. They come along, and I wouldn't be able to do this without them.
Yeah. The only team I got is Dirty and Will. But that's all the team I need.
Oh, and Gwendolyn Guthrie. And she's more into like paranormal stuff, but
I know. I love the paranormal too, man.
That woman, she will be right beside me, running after these creatures. And same with Tammy from the She Squatchers. She will also be kind of beside me.
I need to start talking to these other people.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting boring.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, my name is Jason.
My name is Jason.
Your viewers have all turned this off by now.
One more question.
Okay.
So, have you ever ran into, and I know a lot of people scowl at this crap, but have you ever ran into any orbs?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen them in the forest.
Yes.
And it's so when people first started telling me about orbs and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Seeing orbs and the Bigfoot, or
I know,
they see Bigfoot.
I'm not trying to piss anybody off out there.
No, but I have seen at one case there was a time that I saw a creature. I want to let everyone know that everything I've told you tonight, I'm not saying that they were Bigfoot creatures because. Yeah. It was nighttime. I could see the eyes shine, and
nothing definitive.
15 documentaries over 30 different expeditions.
Yeah,
I'm now up to 50% believer.
Yeah,
right. I need a daytime sighting, 40 feet away from me.
We hang out enough. I'll get you up to 51.
51. Yeah. I will be 101 believer. That Jason was a nice guy, but man, he got taken. And I filmed the whole thing. I didn't know he could sing like a girl.
You never know.
I didn't know his voice was that high.
I know, right?
So one time we were walking through the forest and I was shining my light and boom, the creature was behind the tree and it was as if I caught it looking and it jerked behind the tree. And then I looked at the tracker, the guy that was with us, he was an army tracker and a hunter, and his son was beside me. So when I saw it, I was like, I looked at him. He's like, looks at me like, I saw it too. I saw it too. I'm like, my God, over here, guys, we saw it. So the tracker and myself, we walked really fast towards it. And as we came across the tree, on the ground was a small little teepee of sticks. Like it was only maybe that high off the ground, like that tall. Yeah. And and we were not on any trail. We were zigzagging all over the forest at that moment. So for someone to put that little teepee there and think that one of us, and it was behind this tree, like it was almost next to the tree. And I'm filming all this. And then I said, well, let's go that way because that's where we could hear the creature run off as we were approaching the tree. So we carried on, and as we're walking, we see a red light, an orb. It looked like a car headlight, a car tail light. Yeah. And it just moved in the forest. And I was like, shh, everyone.
What was it like? How high off the ground? Like,
it was,
maybe
I would say maybe at least 10 feet off the ground.
Okay.
Then again, I didn't have a measuring
tape. I know you're bad at measurements.
I am. But all I know it was probably 2 feet off the
20
ground.
foot.
This orb was like, I caught that orb and it was this big.
Yeah, from here to there, I don't know.
It was 100 feet off the ground.
I'm not
looking at it way up in the sky. But no, it was. I would say, okay, I can honestly say it was at least 5 feet off the ground. Yeah. I can say that much.
Yeah.
And it was just moving. And then I said, shh, guys, listen. And they're like, what? We don't hear nothing. I said, exactly. Look, I'm moving. You can hear my foot cracking with all the steps. This thing's moving and there's no cracking. There's no way you could walk through the forest without making some sound.
So can I ask a question real quick? So was it like the light? Was it contained was it?
No, it was contained. It looked like a car tail light.
Typical.
Kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
But we were so deep in the forest.
Yeah.
And where we came into the forest was behind us. There was no roads, no nothing. There was
but it wasn't lighting up the whole forest.
No, it wasn't.
Just like
right there. It was just right there.
Yeah.
It was actually, you're right. That's a good question. No, I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't illuminate the forest.
I've seen an orb and mine did the same thing.
Wait a second. That's right. I never put two and two together. It did not light up. I don't even remember it lighting up a tree. Like, usually if it was
I know.
light.
That was my point, because
wait a second, that is
a lot of orb stories.
Yeah.
They're light, but they don't light up anything around them.
That's right. And I'm thinking in my head, like, back when I was seeing it, and I'm like, but you're right. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of saying, guys, it's not lighting up anything like an actual
I know. You
flashlight.
don't think about that.
So I ran towards it. Yeah. And as I was running, I was yelling. I was like, hey, excuse me. Yeah. Thinking maybe it was a hunter.
Yeah,
I said, please don't shoot me. Yeah. I'm unarmed. And if you're a Bigfoot creature, please don't eat me. I taste terrible. Yeah. And then
but I have Tabasco sauce.
Exactly. No. I still smell like the Sasquatch. Gwendolyn was right beside me as we were going. And as we're running towards it, there was a footprint. Right there.
Seriously.
And it was right there on the ground. So remember, when you're running through the forest, what are you doing? You're looking down.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to step over logs and stuff. We came over a log, there was some mud. Oh, wow. Boom. And it was, I think it was about 14 inches. So it was like seeing a squirrel. I'm like, no, look at the red squirrel. Like it was just a footprint. Forget about the orb.
Holy shit.
So we're like down there, we're measuring it, we're looking at it. We could see the toes. And it was right in that line of where we saw.
Holy cow.
Just took tons of video and pictures.
Holy
and then
cow.
after about, I want to say 10 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, the orb, the red light.
Yeah,
and we jump
and
up,
it's
we're
gone.
looking around, and it was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone. It was like, once we saw that footprint, I was like, man, forget about the light.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
should have
no
been
doubt.
the other way around, really, because the light was still physically, anyway, that was...
Yeah, no, trust me, if I was in your situation at that time, if I saw a footprint, I'd be like, footprint,
Yeah.
squirrel.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly, squirrel.
Yeah. And the only reason I asked that is because when I saw an orb, it did the same thing. It was like in the treetops and it followed me.
Yeah.
It followed me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was about the size of a baseball.
Was this during Christmas? And did he
No.
hear some bells?
No.
There wasn't no
Santa
dancer
Claus,
and Prince
no
or
Rudolph. Mine was
little
white.
red nose.
Mine was white.
It was a white light.
Yes, white light. And it was October. It was, yeah.
Close to December.
Maybe it was Jack the Pumpkin King. I don't know.
Uh-huh. That would be an interesting
But-
cryptid to look into.
But it was, and like I said, I didn't see it illuminating on any trees.
Yeah.
And it was at the top of the tree line.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to get away from it, and it's like following me. And in my mind, I'm like, somebody's got a drone,
Yeah.
and that's what I thought.
Oh, yeah, like a drone.
But I'm like, I don't hear any sound.
Yeah, you don't hear nothing.
I don't see anything illuminating, and I'm thinking, wait a minute.
I have heard that this creature by the name of Meow Meow, look it up, guys.
Meow meow?
Meow Meow.
Meow meow?
Could have
That's my cat.
Could have actually, isn't that the new cryptid that we're making? I thought we were making up a new cryptid.
All right, we got a new cryptid
Yeah,
called
meow,
Meow
meow.
Meow.
It's called Meow
And
Meow, remember? Part fox, tiger.
I got a picture to show
Bat.
you later.
Yeah.
It's my cat with Bigfoot. And they're hanging out. They're like chilling, having a beer, you know.
Yeah, so what are we doing now?
What are we doing now?
Doing a documentary right now on
That's right.
the Ozark howler
Ozark Howler.
or pretty much a Bigfoot creature.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so I met a guy that, what was it? Josh Gates came out and did, what was that show he did? Expedition X or whatever.
Yeah.
So he came out, and the neighbors down the road from me, they came out and actually had an episode with them about the Ozark Howler. And I went and talked to the guy after the episode, and he's like, they kept trying to say it was the Ozark Howler, but I'm telling you right now, it was Bigfoot. And I've seen his evidence that they showed them,
Yeah.
but they were trying to make it into the Ozark Howler.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen his evidence, and it is straight up Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Straight up Bigfoot.
I believe it.
You know, because he had tracks in the snow, and this was, maybe I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So he had tracks going through his yard in the snow, and man, the stride was 6 feet, but there was little ones next to it. And as they got close to his house, about 20 feet away from his house, the little tracks disappeared.
Really?
Yeah. Like the mama picked it up and said, you going with me? And then the big tracks continued. And he had some pictures out in the woods behind his house,
Yeah.
and it looked like a baboon. Looked like a baboon.
Really?
Yeah. The picture, because you could see it in one frame.
Yeah.
He had a game cam in
Yeah.
the back of his house. And it looked like a baboon. And then like another frame that he took, same place.
Yeah.
Can't see no, but it looked like a baboon face.
Really?
Which is kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
they say there's different types. So do you believe in any of the different types? Because they say there's...
If you think about if you think of humans,
Yeah.
there's cousins.
Yeah, we all look
there's-
different.
We all look different, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's a...
Because I'm way prettier than you. No, I'm just
easily,
kidding.
by far.
I'm just
It's
kidding.
because my nose is fake.
I know, right?
Don't want anyone clicking on again. Maybe there's a Japanese version of, like, meaning maybe there's a Japanese
Yeah.
Bigfoot, right? Florida skunk ape.
And
Allegedly
maybe
has
that's where
3.
the Dogman strain comes in too, because, I ain't
I
going
know
to say his
there's-
name because he
there's-
probably don't want anybody to know, but he talked about that one today, and he said it has short snout.
Yeah,
We talked about that
It
at the
could
conference.
possibly be a different species or a different, like a cousin of the Bigfoot. They all kind of
100%.
look different.
Yeah.
I can tell you, out of all the expeditions I've been on all over North America, I've been seeing very similar things and hearing similar
You get around
noises.
a lot more than I do.
Yeah, it's amazing how I'm so glad and blessed to be able to go into these different areas of the forest. But yeah, I was just in Oregon, and we were investigating. We camped out overnight 2 miles away from the largest forest fire in North America.
Really?
Yeah, and some of the guys we were with got roared at the day before or 2
Holy
days
cow.
before.
Holy cow.
Broad daylight. They were looking around, and suddenly they got roared at, and then all of a sudden, like seconds later, it was closer, and it roared at them again. And of course, some of the people, they were so scared that we gotta go, and they left. But yeah, so when we camped out, we heard a roar in the morning, but it was pretty far off.
Yeah.
Right? I every time that I do a howl,
Yeah.
usually 45 minutes after I howl, something comes around. They come around. It's as if I howl and they're like 4 miles away going, ooh, a howl.
Yeah.
What's that? They want to come and investigate.
Investigate. See what the hell that
So
was.
usually that's how it goes. As soon as I howl, within 45 minutes, things start happening.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't want to be the one that steals your time away from everybody. This has been so much fun. Will you come on again?
I will.
All right.
I will.
Cool.
Cool. So before
right.
I leave, I just want to let everyone know that they can find my Sasquatch adventures on Tubi. It's called Searching for Sasquatch. And also, you can find it on Plex. And I just signed a deal with a streaming platform in England called
awesome.
Parastream.
Okay.
And they are going to be playing my documentaries out there.
Awesome.
The thing is, Tubi is, everyone can see it in Canada and America and North America, but Tubi cannot be seen in Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So now that my stuff will be playing in England, that's great because everyone in England and Europe, they watch it.
Very cool.
And yeah, you can find it there. If you Google my name, Jason Kenzie's Amazing Animal Adventures, you can also find all my animal adventures. There's about 400 little documentaries.
Yeah.
You can see me playing with wolves and monkeys and ring-tailed lemurs and kangaroos and
Two-headed snakes.
two-headed snakes. Yes, that was pretty amazing.
I know, I saw that one. All right, so I'm going to say thanks for stepping on my toes because I was going to give you a chance to shoot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say, what do you got to promote, Jason? Jason said, F you, Patrick. I'm going to promote what I
I'm
want.
going to do it anyway.
This is my show.
Yeah, this is my, who is this guy?
Who is it? Nobody.
Nobody. So,
All right.
anyway,
Yeah.
so again, here, this is the Jason Kenzie
This
show.
is Jason Kenzie show. Thank you for joining us. All right, Jason.
Thank you so much.
Hey, is there anything else you want to say? No, seriously, is there anything else you want to say before we go?
I've published 4 children's books called
Actually?
Adventures of Little JJ, about a little 6-year-old boy that uses his imagination to travel around the world, meeting new animal friends. And the last 2 of the books are Bigfoot.
I bought one today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I didn't get it, and you were supposed to sign it.
Oh no! Yeah, it's in there. We'll get it on the way back.
Okay.
No,
Yay, I get it.
But that's so I did a comic book or a graphic novel.
Yeah, it was very cool.
That
is
is
very
called
cool.
Searching for Sasquatch
Yep.
and the hidden treasure of Bigfoot Valley. But my children's books are completely different. It's made for children.
Oh, no, I got the comic book.
Oh, you got the comic book.
Yeah.
You want the children's books too?
Yeah, why not? I'm kind of childish.
So yeah, you can get it anywhere online like Amazon and yeah. So
Very cool, very cool. Well, you know what? Hey, we had a great time talking to Jason tonight, and with any luck, we'll get him back on here if I can, I don't know, find the right Sasquatch poop to send to him. Maybe he'll come back on. But you know what, people? Thanks for joining us tonight, and go check Jason out on all his stuff. Check out his documentaries. They're awesome. I've seen them. And everybody out there in the cryptid world, keep it creepy.
See you guys.
See ya.
Like I'm on a quest, searching for the homie, you know he's the best. Got my camera ready, heightened senses on blast. Snap a shot of Sasquatch, legend unsurpassed. Eyes in the dark, you can't catch what you can't see. King of the woods, living wild and free. Bigfoot, yeah, he's the talk of the town. Creeping through the trees, never wearing a frown. Legend of the forest, he's got a big stride. As the trap beats thump, you know he's got pride.